If I don't break 48 after doing this crap, it's not worth it.
I am training to run a sub 48 second 400, and this is my full week of training. This was an awesome week of training with 2 lactate sessions and speed, power, and acceleration work. We had our second outdoor meet of the year this week where I ran the 100, 200, and 4x4, and I'm super excited to show you guys how the season goes from here. We started out exactly how you'd expect with a thorough warm-up. I've been experimenting quite a bit with my warm-ups, and I think I've finally started to find the ideal warm-up for me, and I might share the whole thing with you guys eventually if you'd be interested. Like most warm-ups, it starts with some dynamic mobility work and then goes into some muscle activation work before progressing slowly into form drills to get us prepped and ready to go for our session. Our first session for the week was 2x3x200, progressing from 31 seconds to 28 seconds to 25 seconds with 1 minute rest between each.
Would you like 7?
Truly, none of them. Ready, set, go.
The first 2 reps serve only to pre-fatigue us for the last rep, and the last rep is supposed to simulate the final 200 of a 400, although it ends up feeling much more difficult than a 400 by the end. First rep is always a fight to hold yourself back so you don't open up in 27 seconds and burn yourself before the workout really even starts. The second rep is usually hard to hit time because you realize how short 1 minute is, and you start stressing out about being able to hit pace on the last rep. I ended up right on the money here though.
That wind's rough. Ready, set, go.
Even though we have a whole nother set of this, the last rep usually ends up being pretty close to an all-out effort, and it hurts. I was really happy to hit 25 mid here, and it is clear that I'm starting to get in better shape, especially compared to my first times doing this.
Your form is floating through.
Yeah?
The stride, it looks good.
Good, thank you. That surprisingly felt quite a bit better than usual. That felt pretty solid.
7 minutes were up in what felt like only a few seconds, and we had to go in for our second set.
Go.
Thank goodness we had some beautiful weather for such a tough workout.
Go.
I came through a little bit slow for my second one and wanted to make up for it on the final rep. Unfortunately, my legs did not share my motivation.
Set, go.
I held on the best I could, which was actually much better than usual for these workouts, and I'm really happy with how the workout went.
Good job, Russ. That definitely wasn't quite on pace, but that was for sure my best one of those so far. Felt relatively strong, smooth. It was good. Probably just have 3 150s now.
How'd you feel on those?
Solid.
Better.
Way more solid than usual.
Yeah, no, I agree. It looked better.
I was focusing on trying to keep my pelvis in position. I think that made a difference.
Good.
I think also good weather, finally getting used to the training.
Yeah, that was good.
It's nice to do that without feeling like I was complete toast and like just hanging on for my life the whole time.
Third one, we held third there. Your third and second set, so you're sixth. Looked like we held together well.
Awesome. Thank you. Go. Oh, geez.
These were nice, easy, progressively faster and faster 150s to flush all the acidity out of our muscles and refresh us so that we would feel better coming into the next day. The first one always feels like we can barely move, but by the end we can often almost fully sprint. If you guys haven't tried this after a hard workout, you absolutely should.
Ready, set, go.
The next day we came out for some speed and acceleration work. There was a really strong wind outside, but coach used that to our advantage as a training stimulus. Like usual, I warmed up with my good buddy Russell, who also runs 400s and has a PB of 49.63.
With this wind, we are gonna run fast today. We're doing 3 accels and then like 4 to 6 flies.
We did our build-ups with the wind and they felt really fast.
So we're doing 2 to 3 accels into this really strong wind. So it'll be like resisted accels. And then we're gonna flip around the other way and do 4 to 6 flies with the wind. Should be a lot of fun. I'm focusing mainly on relaxing throughout this one.
Working on relaxation has done wonders for my acceleration and my top speed in practice, but it is very tricky to find the balance between being too tense and being too relaxed. What works for me is really focusing on relaxing my jaw and neck, and that tends to reduce tension all throughout my body without leaving my arms and legs too relaxed to produce power.
Everything feels different when you're racing people. What was that? He said...
This was a really fun day of training, and speed and acceleration work are usually my favorite type of workouts.
The wind is making my strides so long that I feel like I'm overstriding, like in really long steps. I feel fast, but the wind is so strong, I can't tell if my form's good or not.
Then we went into our first lift of the week. I started out with very explosive squats that are heavier at the top of the rep than at the bottom, and I was throwing it so fast that the whole machine was lifting off the ground. After that, I did some hanging leg raises, which are great for your core and hit the hip flexors a bit as well, followed by some med ball chest passes and slams. After some more hip flexor work, we were done for the day. The next day we had a tiny bit of block work, followed by broken 400s, which in this case was a 300 at around race pace, followed by 30 seconds rest and an all-out 100 with whatever we had left in the tank.
Okay. Mic on?
Yes, sir.
Shout out Wendy's. We got the meat.
I've still got tightness and pressure right in the back of this knee, but it feels gross. It doesn't just feel like tightness. It's a little crooked there. We're just doing 2 of these and then we're going on to the broken 4s.
My block starts felt surprisingly good, but for some very unfortunate foreshadowing, this practice did not translate well to the coming meet.
So my focus with these broken 4s is on the 300. I'm gonna try to drive out really aggressively, but also be very relaxed, which is what I've been working on the acceleration days. So I'm gonna try to keep my face jiggling, my arms, upper body relaxed, but obviously still being aggressive, powerful, and then hopefully just kind of carry that relaxation through most of the 2. Maybe relax a little bit more than out the start. Once I start going into the last 100, just start driving my arms, pushing a little harder, and then obviously the last 100 is just whatever I got left, so no strategy there, just run hard, run fast. Should be fun. Now we wait 35 minutes for Bladen to do anything. Everybody good? Okay. Good, Russ. Ready, set, go! Okay, everybody good? All right. Ready, set, go.
It is almost impossible for me to accelerate when I'm tired, but I did my best and made up for it in the second half of the 100. These broken 4 workouts are way better than 200s, but they still hurt like crazy.
Whew. That is tough. Now we just try to get the heart rate down as fast as possible. How do I feel? Good. Really hard. On the 100, I said ready, set, both of them go boom. Next time I'm gonna say ready, set. Wait till you both false start and then I'm gonna say go.
10 and the guy to run fast.
What do you think we've been trying to do?
I don't know where the hell that was.
Hey, I was proud of myself. Ready, set, go.
Coming back for a second broken 4 is always tough, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I won the first rep, but this time around Russell cooked me. His endurance tends to be quite a bit better than mine.
Ready,
Got him.
ready, go. Oh man. My head's killing me.
Simon Chalk, how did your workout feel?
Oh, it was so bad. The second one, unsurprisingly, I had nothing left. The first one was really fast. My legs are just on fire. Oh, oh, sitting down was not the move. No. Oh, it's building up. I think you should try this and then we'll see who's laughing.
I wasn't laughing.
You are now.
Yeah, I am now.
If I don't break 48 after doing this crap, it's not worth it. Just kidding. Love the pain.
Then we went into our second lift of the week, and I started off with some heavy single leg step ups, and I had a couple spectators for this set. Then I did some hip abductor work with cables, followed by more med ball throws forward and downward. After that, it was finally meet day. I started with a warm-up, and I actually did a lot more in my warm-up this time than I usually do because I recently came to the realization that I haven't been warming up thoroughly enough in fear that I will be too tired for my races. But I, just like everyone else, run much faster if I'm properly warm, and so I've been kind of shooting myself in the foot with this. I was super excited to race my first ever 100, but also incredibly nervous. After some excels on the track, I felt pumped up and ready to go. When the official called on your marks and set, I started overthinking my start like crazy, and as you guys probably know, thinking stops you from reacting. At least that was definitely the case for me. The gun went off and I hesitated right before practically standing straight up. After an atrocious start, I basically had a hawk down second place finish. I'm very happy with the top speed I achieved in this race, but if my start hadn't been so awful, I know I could have gone faster than this 11:45. But hey, what can I expect? I was literally a distance runner last year. I'll hopefully figure the sprinting stuff out eventually. I practiced my start a little bit before the 200, and it looks pretty good here, but I think I have something wrong with how I set up my blocks, because in the 200, my start was pretty rough just like the 100. This is something I'll be experimenting with in the coming weeks, because to run the 400 times I want, I'm gonna need a great start, or at least a decent one. My reaction time, at least, was better in the 2 because I cleared my head beforehand and wasn't overthinking the gun. But still, at 100 meters in, I was barely in third place and at a significant deficit compared to the leaders. Thankfully, with about 70 meters left, my 400 meter strength showed itself, and I had kinda a massive rundown to win my heat. I would be super proud of this win from behind, except I only ran a 22.89, and I know I am capable of much faster times. You can tell from these races that my top speed is there, I just need to work on my racing mentality and my starts when I'm under pressure. Finally, it was 4x4 time. The 4x4 is my team's pride and joy, and we were going into this race with some great competition. Our relay PR is 319 high from the end of the year last year, and we had one relay in our heat with a 312 PR and one with a 316 PR, and the rest sitting in the mid 320s. We hadn't run the 4x4 since our disappointing 328 for second place at indoor conference, so we went into this one really hoping for a good performance. In our first spot was our usual starter Bladen, who has a PB of 50.96, which he actually ran earlier in this meet. He got out pretty well, but there's only so much you can do against relays who are so much better. You can see them already starting to pull away. Bladen finished really strong and handed off to our second, Desmond, in somewhere around 51 seconds. Desmond has a PB of 49.57, which he also ran earlier in this meet, and after a wonky looking handoff, he got out pretty well. Desmond runs incredibly smoothly, probably because his max speed is very fast, and so it's kind of like he's jogging the whole race. We were pretty solidly lodged in third place at this point with a big gap in front of us and a continually widening gap behind us as well. Desmond handed off to Russell in about 50 seconds, but now we can time using the start line instead of the handoffs, so by the time Russell crossed the line, it was a 51 mid-split for Desmond. Russell got out very hard, which is his preferred racing strategy. He has a PB of 49.63, which he also set earlier at this meet. This part isn't super exciting because again, we weren't really racing anyone, so we were more so time trialing by ourselves at this point. Russ hit the 200 in about 23.5 as far as I can tell. By the time I crossed the start line, Russell's split hit about 50.63 seconds. I tried to get out hard like always, but as I transitioned out of the first 100, I tried to relax as much as I could. I was pretty tired from the meet even though my events were pretty short, and I didn't want to burn out early, so I thought if I could run very relaxed, it would help me maintain my speed all the way through the race. It is a weird feeling just racing against the clock, but I'm pretty used to it and kept the runner ahead of me in my sights so that I had something to aim for. My best guess is that my first 200 was also 23.5 or so, but it's pretty much impossible to tell. I felt really strong coming around the final bend, and I had my full focus locked on the finish line. I finally started locking up in the last 20 to 30 meters, and I fought to stay in control. From the start line to the finish line, I ended up splitting 49.43, which is my fastest split ever. I was ecstatic to have run this split so fast, especially after my earlier disappointing performances, and I'm really excited to see where I can go from here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.